In this video, I'm going to transform Minecraft mobs into Italian brain rot characters. You really liked part 2, and that's why I brought part 3. So let's go to the first character, which will be Alessio. And the mob I chose to transform into Alessio is going to be the sheep. There are some of them right in front of me. So I'm going to take this one and bring it to our transformation machine. And the moment I click this button, its 3D model will be unlocked. So the first thing I'm going to do is erase all the parts of its body like this. I'm going to start making the character from the boot he has. Create this cube to be the rest of the boot. Add a small detail here in the middle. And now, make the leg. I'm going to select all the pieces so I don't have to do everything again, and I'm going to duplicate it to the side. On top of the legs, I'm going to create a huge cube that will be a soccer ball, which is Alessio's body. And this small cube in front will be his nose. To make it even better, I just need to add a detail here on the side. The same thing on the other side. And create a cube on top to be his cap. To finish, make the brim of the cap, and now he's ready. In Minecraft, Alessio turned out like this, guys. Look how cool. He really looks like the character in the picture. And this turned out amazing. Look how cool. I'm going to spawn others here. They keep talking nonstop. If I spawn a lot, they'll keep talking infinitely. Look at this. Wow, how cool. My God, they don't stop talking. What is this? I'm going crazy. I know what I'm going to do to eliminate some of them. I'm going to spawn an iron golem. And look, all of them are attacking the iron golem. So I'm going to put others here. And look, he's taking care of all the Alessios. Wow, what is this? Now it went to the other iron golem. You know what? I'm going to help the iron golems. I'm going to hit all of them too. Take that. It seems they have a lot of health. Look at that. I'm hitting with my netherite sword. They have to take a lot of damage and they need to take a lot of hits to die. I'm only going to spawn one. And here we can see very well what his texture is like. But the problem is that there's this iron golem and he wants to attack the golem. The best way to see him is by placing a statue. And here we can clearly see that the texture turned out very beautiful, especially the soccer ball. His nose. In fact, everything turned out very beautiful. Even his facial expression turned out similar. Another thing we can notice is his animation, which also turned out very cool. And my score for this character will be 8 out of 10. Comment your opinion here below in the comments, because now we'll have to make the habitat where he will live. And I've even marked the places where I'm going to make each habitat for each of the characters. You can see that here in our zoo, there's an area reserved for all the Italian brain rot. Here, for example, there's Burr Patapim. On this other side, there's the Ambulabudal and even the Crocodile Bombardino. And this is going to be exactly the place where I'm going to make Alessio's habitat. And to do that, first I'm going to start by breaking these cobblestones here, because I only use them to mark the place where I'm going to build. After doing that, I'm going to break some blocks deep, and I'm going to remove even these grasses. And now we can finally build the habitat. The first thing I'm going to do is put sand on the entire floor. After that, I'm going to make another layer of sand. However, it won't fill the entire area because I'm going to want to put some grass blocks right here. And in the remaining hole, I'm going to put water. But first, I'm going to make the walls. And the block I chose to make it is light blue concrete. And the good thing is that I have a mod that allows me to build all of this faster. Now I'm going to fill that hole I left with water to make a lake. As you can see in that image on the side, there are some palm trees. And I'm going to try to do the same thing here in the habitat. So I'm going to use these composters to make the trunk of the palm tree. To make the leaves, I'm going to use mangrove leaves. And I'm going to build more or less this way, which I think is looking cool. Here in these corners, I'm going to place some azalea leaves, and I'm going to complete with some bushes. To make this habitat even more beautiful, I'm going to place some white concrete powder blocks. Finally, I'm going to fence this part here with glass panes, and this is the final result of the construction. It turned out very cool, especially this bush area, and these walls made of blue concrete blocks serve to imitate the sky of the scenery. And since I really like this, my score will be 10 out of 10. Comment your opinion below in the comments. And now let's go to the next character, who will be the Caputino Acetino. And the mob I chose to transform him into will be this pillager here. So I just need to get him. Now bring him into the transformation machine and press this button. Here is his 3D model. So I'm going to start by deleting all parts of his body, including his head. I'm going to start making the Caputino Acetino from his shoe. On top of that, I'm going to create a cube to be the leg. To avoid doing everything again, I'll select everything and duplicate it to the side. I'll make a cube on top of the legs to be a piece of his body. And on top of that cube, I'll create an even bigger cube for the head. Now make a small detail like this. And that's basically Caputino Acetino's body. Behind his head are 2 stripes. This will be the first and this will be the second. On the right side of his body, I'll create a cube like this for the arm. Now make a small detail here on the sleeve. Below it, I'll make the hand. And I'll make this hand holding a katana. So make another detail of it here. And this will be the blade. To avoid repeating the whole process again, I'll select everything and duplicate it to the side. And that's how the Caputino Acetino turned out. Wow, this looks really cool, guys. Look at that. It literally looks very similar to the character in the picture. I even tried to make that detail on his head. The katanas turned out very similar, and even his gaze. The assassin Cappuccino also has a lot of health, so much so that if I hit him multiple times with the netherite sword, he needs 5 hits to die. But I have a doubt. Is the assassin Cappuccino stronger than Alessio? That's what I want to test. I'm going to put Alessio on one side and the assassin Cappuccino on the other. And let's see who will win. Who are you rooting for? I think the assassin Cappuccino will win. You see? And he won. Now, I want to see a different battle. I'm going to place several Alessios and several assassin Cappuccinos. Let's see who wins, guys. Look, I think there are a few more assassin Cappuccinos, so I'm going to put one more Alessio, and who will win, guys? Who are you rooting for? It seems the assassin Cappuccinos are losing. Look, all of them are getting beaten. Wow. Who will win? Alessio will win. So I need more assassin Cappuccinos. Go, place 3 more. If the assassin Cappuccino loses now, they are worse than the Alessios. Wow. I think the assassin Cappuccino will lose, guys. Only one is left, and he's getting beaten. And the assassin Cappuccino lost. And now all the Alessios are going to attack the horses and even the sheep. Oh no. I'll have to place a lot of assassin Cappuccinos to finish them off. And now there's no doubt that the assassin Cappuccino will win, since all the Alessios took damage, and this time there are more assassin Cappuccinos than Alessio. But one thing you have to agree on, the assassin Cappuccino is only good in 1 versus 1. Now, in the team fight, Alessio won, but what matters is that the assassin Cappuccino's 3D model turned out very beautiful, and that's why my score will be 10. And now, let's come here to our zoo, where I'm going to build his habitat, and I think the best place for me to build this will be right here. So I'll start by removing these cobblestones. I'll also remove some layers of dirt and stone, so the habitat is more or less at this depth. And the idea I had to build this habitat is to make an oriental construction. So I'll start by placing these pine planks on the ground. To make it even more beautiful, I'll mix some random blocks. To make the walls, I found a variant of the diorite block that I think matches this construction very well. On top of these blocks, I'll make another layer, but using red concrete block. To make it even more beautiful, I'll break some blocks from the top to make it look like the other habitats. In the transition between the diorite block and the red concrete, I'll place this roof block that I found in a mod. This will make it look very similar to those oriental houses. But for this roof not to look strange, I found a connection here. We can connect them by the corners. And now, the roof won't look strange like it was before. Look, it turned out very beautiful. I'll place some bushes to serve as decoration here inside, and I'll also place some fruit boxes. I ended up finding this block, and I found it more beautiful than diorite, so I'll replace all these wall blocks. And now, the look truly resembles an oriental house. To finish, I'll place some doors, as if this were a small village. Now, I'll place some pine fences on top of the habitat, and also place fences in this open part. And this is the final result of the assassin Cappuccino's habitat. Of all the characters I created from Italian BRAINROT, without a doubt, this is my favorite habitat. I really liked how it turned out, especially these small decorations, and that's why my score will be 10 out of 10. Comment your rating below in the comments, because now we're going to transform the next character, which will be the Cacto Hippopotamo, who is that character with a cactus body and a hippo head. These Italian BRAINROT don't make any sense. And the mob I chose to transform into him will be the Iron Golem. So I just need to grab him. I'll bring him to the transformation machine and click this button. And here is his 3D model. I'm going to delete all his body parts, delete the arm, the torso, and even the head. I'm going to start making the Cacto Hippopotamo from his body. And I chose to divide this into 3 parts. These are the 2. And this last piece was very small. I did this to make this cactus look like the one in the image. Now I need to add the spines like this to make it look very nice. However, I needed to do this for the whole cactus. Now, this really looks like a real cactus. But now I'm going to make his foot. And for that, I need to make the sandal first. And on top of it, I can make his foot. To prevent this from looking strange, add one more detail on top. I'll copy all the parts and duplicate to the side. On the top part of the cactus, I'm going to make the hippo's head, so it's perfect. Make the left ear, the right one too. And in front, I'm going to create a cube to be the snout. And here's the Cacto Hippopotamo, guys. Look how cool. He turned out very nice, and he's very similar to the character. Look at this. He has giant feet, and here too I made his feet enormous. Not to mention the hippo's head here turned out very cute. The cactus also turned out very cool, and this character also has a lot of life, since I can give several netherite sword strikes, and he takes a while to die. But now, I want to see a battle between the Cacto Hippopotamo and the Caputino Acetino. Who do you think will win? Who are you rooting for? Leave it in the comments, and let's see who wins the battle. The Caputino Caputino Acetino won this time. Now, this other battle will be between the Cacto Hippopotamo and Alessio. Oh, let's see who wins. Go, Cacto Hippopotamo. You'll win this. Go after Alessio. Wow, I think Alessio will win, and he lost. I really didn't expect the Cacto Hippopotamo to win this one. But before we make his habitat, let's spawn 3 of each here, and let's see who will win. The fight started, guys. Look at how many mobs battling. This is very cool. Wow, who will win? Who are you rooting for? It looks like the Cacto Hippopotamo will win, guys. Look, he eliminated everyone, so that means he deserves a very beautiful habitat, and I'm going to build it exactly in this place. So, as you probably already know, I'm going to start by removing these cobblestones and replacing them with this red sandstone block, and this block will match a lot since I want to make a desert. I've already finished marking where the walls will be. Now I'm going to break all these grass blocks from the ground, because I'm going to replace all of this with sand. To prevent the Cacto Hippopotamo from escaping this habitat, I'm going to make the walls even taller, and on the inside of the habitat, I'm going to make one more layer of ground to make it look like a natural biome. To serve as decoration, I'm going to place some cactuses and also some dead bushes. In addition, I'm going to replace some blocks of the walls with polished sandstone. And finally, our habitat is ready. This really turned out very cool, since this is a desert, and the only desert I had made was from Literally Larla. But unlike the other one, this one is with white sand, and this red sand desert made all of this even more beautiful. So that's why my score will be 9 out of 10 for this habitat. As for the character, I believe his score should be 8 out of 10. Now, we're going to transform the next character, which will be Impalibel, and the mob I chose to transform into him will be the zombie. But I have to grab him fast before the Caputino Acetino gets him. I got him. Now I'll bring him to the transformation machine and click this button. Here is the zombie's 3D model, so I'll select all the parts and erase them. I'll start making Impalibel from his foot. Create a cube on top to be the leg, and in front, make his toe. Select all parts and duplicate to the side. I'll create a huge cube on top of his legs to be the body. Since this character looks like a chocolate bar, I chose to paint his body brown. The only thing we need to do now are his 2 arms, and I'll start with the left one. I've even made a piece of his hand. The only thing left to do are the fingers, and this cube here will be the thumb. I'll select everything and duplicate to the side, and this time I left the arm facing forward. This is because he is holding a cell phone, and now our model is finally ready. Here in Minecraft, this mob turned out even better. Look how cool. He is very similar to the character in the picture. In fact, even his face is very similar. Look, he has a mean face. I don't know if this is a chocolate bar or not, because here in the picture, his body is somewhat grayish, and I believe it's due to the lighting. So that's why I decided to make his body brown. And this turned out simply incredible. The texture turned out very cool, his face, even the cell phone. But what I'm really curious to see is a battle. So the first battle will be against Alessio, and let's see who wins. Look, it seems that Impalibel will win. Go. Alessio is attacking him. However, Impalibel won. I'll spawn another Impalibel, and his battle will be against the Caputino Acetino. I think the Caputino Acetino will win this one. Let's see. Look at them fighting, and the Caputino Acetino won. And the next battle will be against the Cacto Hippopotamo. Let's see who wins, guys. Who are you rooting for? Look, I think the Cacto Hippopotamo can win this one, you see. And look, he lost. Impalibel won this time. And since he won this last battle, let's make a habitat for him. And since there are only these 2 places left to build, I'll do this construction in this place. So I'll start by replacing these cobblestones with dark blue concrete blocks. And in addition, I'll remove some layers of the ground. I won't dig too deep so this habitat doesn't end up in a hole. I'll also replace all these dirt blocks on the wall with dark blue concrete, and to prevent this wall from being smooth, I'll alternate with these blocks that will make it even more beautiful. To make the floor, I'll alternate with several random blocks of colored concrete powder, and so the inner part of the habitat doesn't remain empty. I'll make small mountains of concrete powder. Look, I think this is looking really cool. To add more detail to this, I'll place blue glass panes on top of the walls. I'll make the fence in the front part so it doesn't stay open. And finally, I'll spread some buckets of paint, and this is the final result of the construction. This turned out very cool. I was inspired by that little cell phone game that Impalibel is holding to make this habitat, and I think the result was perfect. It turned out very colorful. I also put some buckets of paint here, several colored concrete blocks, and I think the result of this turned out very cool. So my rating, I think, deserves 8 out of 10. Comment your opinion below in the comments. Because now we're going to the last character, which will be Kerk. I know, that's the most bizarre name of all. This character is a chair with a face, and the chair's arm has a hand, and the chair's leg also has a foot. And the mob I'm going to transform into this character will be the pig. So put it in the transformation machine and close the door. And here is his 3D model. So delete the head, the body, the legs. And I'm going to start making the character from the back leg. Duplicate to the side. Now I'm going to make the front legs, but they will be a little thicker than the other. And this one also has a foot. foot. So make it, select everything and duplicate. Create a cube on top of the legs to be the chair's seat. I'm gonna make another cube like this to be the chair's backrest, and from the backrest we can start making its arms. So create a cube facing down, another facing forward, and this will be the hand. Select all parts and duplicate to the side, and that's how Kerk turned out. Here in Minecraft, he looked like this. He turned out very similar to this character, even his mouth, his eye. Of course, here there are fewer pixels, so that's why he doesn't look so similar. But I tried to get as close as possible to the character's look, guys, and I think that turned out very cool, especially the 3D model and even the texture. I believe it turned out very cool. He also makes an annoying sound, just like the other characters, and besides, he also has a lot of health. All the characters I created have the same amount of health. And now the question is, which one is the strongest? Just like I did with the other characters, I'm going to make Kerk battle all of them. So he's going to battle the Caputino Acetino, and let's see who wins. Yeah, and Kerk won. Now it's going to be against the Cacto Hippopotamo, and I think the Cacto Hippopotamo will win this one, even though he has the same amount of health. And look, Kerk won. Next battle will be against Alessio. Let's see. Let's go. The battle is going well, you see. And what is this? The chair won once again. And now it's going to be against Impalibel. And I think Impalibel will win this one, you see, even though the chair won all of them. And I can't believe it. Kerk won against all the characters. But then I want to make it even more interesting. I separated all the characters into groups of 10. And which of these groups will be the strongest to win a battle against all? Let's make a habitat for Kerk. And to do that, first I'm going to start by changing all these cobblestones to stone brick. Now I'm going to make the floor with grass block. I'm going to make these walls even taller so the mob doesn't escape. Inside the habitat, I'm going to make a path with coarse dirt and with rooted dirt. Beside them, I'm going to make an enclosure with iron bars. And behind this enclosure, I'm going to place bushes. To finish, I'm going to make some details on top of the wall. And this is the final result of the habitat, guys. This turned out very cool. I tried to make it very similar to this scenario that is behind Kerk, and I believe it turned out very cool. And that's why my rating will be neither too high nor too low. I believe 7 out of 10 for this is great. But now, let's see which of these character groups wins this mega battle. So open the glass walls, and the mega battle will begin. Guys, comment below who you're rooting for. Look, guys, they are attacking each other. They separated into several groups, and in the end, they will all unite to battle against the remaining teams. My God, guys, look, it's all very mixed up, and I don't know who lost yet. I believe that most of the teams were eliminated, and Impalibel's team won this mega battle. Congratulations if you were rooting for him. And if you liked this video, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and leave your like below. And don't forget to watch this video that is appearing on the screen. You will like it very much. Go there, click on it.